All right. So here I will Talikek as he discussed the policy of the Republican together with that of the Democrat with a college student. Of course, it was actually a heated, debate. I decided to share some of those things, with you. So without any further ado, let's get down to this video and check this out.
May he be here. It's fascinating. Right in Biden.
Yeah, it's a new movement me and my roommate have started. Really trying to take it off here. So, like this? Okay, I see. Yeah, I think the Democratic Party turned their back on Joe Biden way too fast. It was like overnight. One night, they were all supporting him. The next night, I look at Twitter, bam, no longer voting for him. He lost the ticket overnight. Nothing's more undemocratic than that.
I thought it was going to be a disagree.
Thank you.
But I agree.
I totally agree. And so I guess you're more liberal leaning, probably, maybe.
I'd say most of my ideals align with Joe Biden.
No, that's fine. And why do you think that Democrats, saying they're the party of democracy, were able just to remove a candidate? That should bother more people, right?
Well, I think it's not necessarily something with the Democratic Party. I think the Republicans would do it as well. I think it's just an issue of the two-party system. Honestly, that's my...
So, look, Charlie and I share this in common. We're not afraid to, and have not been afraid to, criticize the Republican Party when necessary.
Right.
I just think in the political system right now, overall, in general, what do we have? You got a bunch of puppets who are wielded by the managerial class, including a mega donor class,
Sure.
that uses politicians as pawns. You see it in the Democratic Party, you see it in the Republican Party. We're in a unique moment in the history of the Republican Party. It wasn't this way for most of my life.
Right.
But we're in a unique moment where the person who happens to be the Republican nominee is independently a billionaire and is at least, you may disagree with his policies, but he's at least not somebody who's controlled by that machine. People may not like him for a lot of reasons, but what I think is one of the things we probably share in common, because I could tell from your sign, is, I said it before, I'll say it again. The people we elect to run the government should be the ones who actually run the government.
I fully
and
agree.
Joe Biden has not been given the freedom to do that. And I think if we agree on that much, call that an agreement rather than a disagreement.
I think the issue is, though, although Donald Trump is a billionaire by his own right, if you look at, FEC versus Citizens United, the Supreme Court case, Donald Trump's also getting an insane amount of money from private donors. 501Cs.
Kamala Harris is actually getting far more.
I know. It's like what?
More.
It's like 300 million to 200 million.
No,
I don't think it's 5 times more.
It's 5 times more. It's not even close.
I don't think that's true.
Either way, if you want to get mega money out of politics, I think you're going to find some allies here in thinking about ways to do that for the system.
You're just a kind of a wonky thing. It's more than what Open Secrets reports. However,
okay.
I think this is an admirable crusade.
Thank you.
And we're going to publicize on our social media channels.
That's
kind of interesting to me.
Yeah, I think it's a unique movement. I just wish more people would consider Joe Biden for 2024. I think we turned our backs on him way too fast.
Okay.
I'd love
What's
to
your
see
name,
one.
man?
I'm Ryan.
Ryan? What's your last name?
Ryan Farah.
Ryan Farah's starting a movement. Let's see how he does in the next 50 days.
He's trying to change the world.
Thank you. It was lovely talking to you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm Julia. I'm also a first-time voter. I just have a simple yes or no question. If the only way to ban abortion forever would be to bring back slavery, would you do it?
No.
No?
No. I wouldn't bring back slavery to try to limit murder. No.
Okay.
What kind of outrageous question is that, by the way?
I'm just curious. Just yes or no.
Can I ask you a question then?
Sure.
If the only way to limit human suffering is to ban abortion, would you ban abortion?
Say that again. Ask that again.
If the only way to limit human suffering is to ban abortion, would you ban abortion?
No.
It was an honest answer.
Okay.
It was an honest answer.
Yeah.
We probably disagree with you pretty deeply on that, but thank you.
When does life begin in your estimation?
I just wanted to ask a yes or no. That's it.
No, sure, but when does life begin?
That's all I wanted to ask was a yes or no. That's it.
Okay, I could tell you've thought deeply about this topic.
Yes,
Okay, thank
I
you.
have.
Great. Yep, next question. Yep, you can work your way up, guys. Can you do me a favor? If you're a supporter, make room for the disagreements, please, okay? Thank you.
Hello, I just wanted to ask about Donald Trump and his VP pick, J.D. Vance. So I think J.D. Vance was a poor pick by Donald Trump. I'm pretty moderate. I think somebody like Vivek or Marco Rubio or somebody else would have united the ticket and built a better coalition to win the election for the Republican Party. I just wanted to hear your thoughts
Look,
on
I mean,
that.
you're obviously flattering me. I appreciate that. But I'll tell you, I know JD personally. I actually happen to have gone to law school with him. It's actually a rare way to know somebody long before politics. Yeah, we were fellow Bengals fans. We both grew up in Cincinnati, about, greater Cincinnati, about 10, 15 minutes from each other until we were 6. I could say this in a way that a lot of people may not know from seeing somebody on TV. To ask like a lot of questions about character of leadership. He is a man whose personal character, as a father, as a husband, as a friend, I can just attest to that, policy views aside, is the kind of person you want in American politics today. And I think if more people are able to see that across the country, they'll understand why I believe he's going to be a great vice president. That's the true and honest answer, and I appreciate the kind comments.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And then I have another question. Where does the Republican Party go, post Donald Trump? Like, what's kind of the future of the Republican Party?
Well, I think that there's a couple forks in the road. Here's where I think we need to go. Because we're going to face this debate. Do we want to get in there and replace a left-wing nanny state with a conservative nanny state? My view is, here's where the Republican Party needs to go. 3-word slogan: shut it down. Okay, get in there, shut down the federal bureaucracy, shut down the foreign policy nanny state, shut down the domestic nanny state, revive pride in this country, and the key next step to getting there, the unambiguous next step, is putting Donald Trump in the White House, which is why I'm supporting him. We're not done. This November is not the finish line. This November is the starting line. That's the way I look at it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Yep, thank you.
Yes, disagreements. I can see you. Yep. Great. We have a disagreement. Please alter the mic. It's like all the disagreements got out of class
Hello.
at 2 p.m. or something.
Hi, Mr. Ramswamy. Hi, Mr. Kirk. So my name's Brandon. Oh boy, there's a lot of folk back there. They don't like you very much. So
We'll find out.
my main disagreement with you guys, at least in my opinion, would be I think you guys are a bit of isolationists. Would you call yourselves isolationists?
I would not. Would you, Charlie?
We're America first, not
So
America only.
could you elaborate on that position?
I was about to.
Okay, sorry.
We're America first, but not America only.
Okay.
And here's what that means. I'm not an interventionist. Okay. I think our foreign policy should reflect whatever best advances America's interests. Now, I'll just summarize this in a punchline because we've got a lot of questions to get to.
Yeah.
Is it in America's interest to provide protection and security guarantees to allies? It often is. But I have one rule of thumb. You got to ask them to pay for it, at least their fair share. I'm against the nanny state domestically, but I got to be consistent. I'm against the nanny state internationally, too. And I'll give you NATO as one example of that, all right? Most of the countries in NATO do not pay for the minimum amount they've already agreed to pay in the Treaty of NATO, 2% of their GDP on military expense for their own national defense. They're not doing it today. Germany is arbitraging the United States of America, and I think that's wrong. And I think that Uncle Sam has become Uncle Sucker no more. And you know what? That's not just for the money. People think I say this for the money. The money matters. We have $34 trillion in national debt. It's going to fall on your generation's shoulder, heavier than that backpack you're wearing by the time you grow up. I appreciate that. So it's already heavy. You're feeling the burden of it. But it's not just for the money. Other nations are more likely to start wars when they don't bear the full cost of those wars. It's a concept that you call moral hazard in economics,
yes.
where you don't bear the full burden of the risks that you take. So it's not just your taxpayer money. It's not even me and Charlie be long gone before most of you, okay? It's your future money and your future national debt. But it's not just that. It's more likely to drag you into a war because some other country doesn't have the incentive to bear the cost if the United States is subsidizing it. That's my answer. So I'm America first. I'm not an isolationist, but I do think that those who we support should pay their fair share, and that's not too much to ask.
Okay, so I would say it's very interesting that you say that because I am personally an interventionist. I believe in the idea that we are the city on the hill, we're the beacon, we're also the world police, and in that role, we should maintain a world that has free and functioning democracy. Meaning, so for example, you were talking about the Iraq War earlier. The Iraq War, I believe, in my personal opinion, was a justified war, not for the reasons why they claimed it was justified in WMDs, but because of what Saddam Hussein was doing to the Kurdish population in Iraq and gassing them and gassing his own people. And so I believe that it is the responsibility of the American people as the holders of that torch of democracy to deliver that democracy and make sure that it's
a lot of
stable.
Republicans might agree with you, Charlie,
Yeah.
and I don't. And that's where
I
we land on
understand.
it.
I understand. Yeah.
Yeah, Dick Cheney definitely agrees with you. No, but really, I'm just curious. Iraq, Afghanistan, Libya, parts of Syria, Ukraine. Do you think those are successes?
So I would say it would depend on how you grade a success, but I would say particularly Afghanistan. Afghanistan is the key failing point. Although Iraq is somewhat stable, it's a kind of a moderate case.
It's controlled by Iran.
Yeah, so it's moderate, right? But for Afghanistan, that's the real failure, and that's where I think the Biden administration really failed, and that exit strategy was not operated poorly. We shouldn't have left in the first place. We should have made sure that the government was ready and willing to actually be able to take care of the people.
So let's see if we can agree on something.
Yeah.
If you had to choose, and you don't, but if
Yeah.
you had to choose, should the American border matter more than wars abroad?
I would say it should matter as equal. It should equal.
Really?
Yeah.
You think that our border should matter as much as something happening overseas?
I think our status as a world power, as the superpower of the world, is not just that we have borders here domestically, but we have borders abroad that are, I guess you could say, more ephemeral or whatever. They are still our border with, like, Russia, for example, with NATO. That is still a border that we should be paying attention to and focusing with.
We are. I just believe that Germany needs to be paying more, and so do the rest of the NATO allies.
Yes.
So that's where I agree. We
So,
probably
yeah,
want to go to the next question, because we could go all day on this. You're pulling
absolutely.
me in. We love this
But
topic.
I love you.
But we gotta
I
go.
mean, I had hope for you, Vivek. But, like, I'm a Democrat personally, but, like, and I'm sorry, whatever, but I'm Catholic, and, it's whatever. But basically, I just think that you were so good. Your foreign policy is what turned me off, I think.
But I will say,
Yeah.
as someone who is an interventionist, you have found your home. The Democrat Party is the party of reckless war and invading foreign lands.
Hey, you know what?
And turning the back on the American people. So you're right.
Hey,
you've
I
made.
give him
I'll
credit because
take
he's
it.
a lot more honest than
No,
a lot
no,
of politicians
I'm
in
not saying
DC.
it sarcastically. I mean,
No, yeah.
you're at home.
Honest. Yeah.
I'll be realistic with you.
Because
I'm
our party,
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, our party thinks Iraq was a mistake, Libya was a mistake, Syria was a mistake, Afghanistan was a mistake, and
We're able to have a serious conversation because you're actually honest about it.
Yeah.
A lot of Republicans and Democrats try to pretend otherwise, and I appreciate the
Yeah, I
honesty.
think that's the
Thank
main
you very
problem
much.
with politics: lack of honesty.
This is a very interesting one, listening to Charlie Kirk debating these college students concerning some of the policy of Democrats, and then when it comes to trans right, and then some of the policy that the Republican Party are making. Now, when you listen, in a sense, to Charlie Kirk, he is not saying that the Democrats, in a sense, as a party, are fully against the abortion right, but then they push it to state for state to be able to decide whatever that is good for their people. But nevertheless, whatever, in a sense, each of those respective, in a sense, constituency decide to choose for their people, then it is just up to them, instead of it, in a sense, to be banned, in a sense, at national or at the federal level. And then when we look at the issue of this trans right and then all that, well, at least, in a sense, for her, at least she's up to 18 years, so she can be able to decide whosoever, in a sense, she wants to get married, just like how it was being explained to her. But you going ahead to indoctrinate some of these students, in a sense, or some of these children who are young and not up to 18, this is what, in a sense, conservative, in a sense, are against, in a sense, some of these things. They just wanted to at least allow these children. You don't have to bring these things, in a sense, to our institution. And if you look at it, in a sense, critically, it would be better like that. At least get into the 18 and then decide for yourself, right? As a matter of fact, in our even respective home, there are people that are even still be up to 18. But then you don't still have the right, in a sense, to even still decide, in a sense, for yourself. But nevertheless, they say, reach 18 years, then decide whatever gender you decide that you want to be. But then if you are to look at it based on the religious, in a sense, aspect of it as a Christian, then you know that, in a sense, God have already created us what? Both male and female. It's already stated, in a sense, in Genesis chapter 1 verse 27. God have already what created us male and female. And then chapter 2 went on to emphasize on what God used. God created us out of the dust, and he breathed it through the nursery of a man, and then it becomes what? A living. So God have already decided whatever gender we should be. But then this is a situation whereby, in a sense, society tends to decide whatever they want to decide in the name of, in a sense, freedom and democracy, and then all those things, which some of these things, in a sense, is not really, in a sense, helping us, because at this point in time, you understand, the human right or the freedom we are talking about, you understand, is now a threat to national security. How is it a threat to national security? Because it's now going against, you understand, the values and the fundamentals in which the country itself, you understand, was built in. Because if we says that, you understand, we follow what God say and is being built, you understand, on a Christian's value, then this is not what, you understand, the Christian value, you understand, is talking about. Okay, but nevertheless, Democrat now feels like, okay, be 18 years and decide whatever. So what is now bad, you understand, about it? And then that's the reason why, see, when some of these couple of the questions, you understand, we have been asking, you understand, to the lady, she could not able to respond to some of them. Why? Because she was so confused, and they're talking about his 30 years and then discussing to them, and then some of them, they are not well prepared, forgetting the fact that you still be in the school and the professors to talk to, and whatever professor may be talking to me, probably you are not aware of it, right? But then he still speak to you, you understand, anyway. So you don't look at that and says that because you are too young, then therefore they cannot be able to speak to you. That's why he says that, well, he's speaking to people who are what, up to 18 years, and because they feel that, of course, that they want to dialogue with him, and then that's why they come over to be able to speak to him. So it was just up to him. He or she was not forced. She decided, understand, to go there, right, to come and debate him. Then why are you now making it look like, okay, you are a victim of it, when you come to debate and then you lose a debate, and then now you are now crying as if you are being forced? Nobody was forced. She was not forced. She decided, you understand, to come. And then Charlie is just saying whatever he thinks, you understand, he is right, you understand, for American people, and then also for the Republican, you understand, party, you understand, itself. But then I know that a lot of you have their own opinion concerning this, and I wanted to drop it at the comment section, and may God bless you as you do so. So this is the end of my video. If you like my reaction, should like, share, and subscribe. And if you have any video you want me to react to, don't forget to drop it at the comment section, and I'm going to check it out. So you remain blessed, and I see you in my next video. Goodbye.